Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. This time we've got Vintage, Magic's oldest, most powerful format. Really the way the game was played initially before there were formats. Of course, there's been a lot of cards printed since then, but have really made things a lot more powerful. We're going to see some of them here. We've actually already seen some in the mulligan step here. Serum Powder, effectively letting Jason draw a free 7. When that's in your hand, you can actually mulligan for free by exiling that hand. It actually thins your deck out. And the reason Jason's doing this is he is looking for Bazaar of Baghdad. He is on Dredge, and that is all about Bazaar, both pre-board and post-board, for a variety of reasons. But of course, the main thing here is getting those cards into the graveyard and being able to use Bazaar to continue dredging. So a very typical, not impressive opening line is something along the lines of turn 1 Bazaar, activate it, and then during the next upkeep, activate Bazaar and dredge realistically anywhere in between 12 and 18 cards. Of course, the best you can do there is a couple of Golgari Grave Trolls. The other dredgers in the deck are Stinkweed Imp, Jackmore Salvage, potentially, if you're on the Bloodghast build, which I personally am. And then there's also Golgari Thug. And he is down to 2 and now 1. And this is just what the deck has to do sometimes. Maybe 1 in 20 games this will happen. It is gruesome. I have spiked a Bazaar in this circumstance. See if Jason's able to draw into a Bazaar in the first couple of turns. If not, it is likely going to be over in short order. And we see here Greg perhaps making this mulligan rather irrelevant. He has set up a turn 1 Time Vault with a ton of mana, and he's just going to vamp for the Voltaic Key, so that's going to do it. So, Jason may feel pretty terrible about mulling to Oblivion there, but at the end of the day, it looks like that was one that he was going to lose without Bazaar no matter what. If he did have Bazaar, would have been conceivably possible. And of course, if he had Unmask, he could have possibly broken up a bit of that play as well. And Greg on PO showcasing kind of one of the less extravagant ways that it can win, just quickly assembling Vault Key. No need to draw dozens of cards off of multiple POs when you've just got it in the on the second turn. Damn Tutor, unbelievably powerful. Testament to kind of the general speed of a format is, in my view, when we're talking about cards like Vamp Tutor and discard spells in general, just kind of how good they are. I feel like discard spells are probably about as weak as they've been from a historic perspective. An exception to that might be Dredge, because it can leverage Unmask on that very first turn. But in general, when you're on the draw, they're significantly worse. And when you're talking about a card like Vampiric Tutor, where if you use a duress effect and they vamp in response and you're still very dead, that does feel pretty bad. In those circumstances, counters or lock pieces may just be superior to effects like duress and Thoughtseize, which is a bit different than Legacy. And again, a free mulligan here from Jason. One thing that's worth noting is when you do mulligan with a Serum Powder, your likelihood of getting a double Bazaar hand significantly higher, going from a base 60 card deck down to 53. And of course, if you hit another Serum Powder in there, the fewer cards in your deck, the more combinations involving double Bazaar or drawing into that second Bazaar. and just gruesome here. This video turning into a bit of a cautionary tale. Now Jason did make it to the finals of the first ELD Open. His journey may end here, though. I will post his list in the description. I've got to think he's done everything he can from a deck building perspective to draw into Bazaar Baghdad. You're going to be on 4 Serum Powder and 4 Bazaars. That's about all you can do. Could be unbelievably bad luck here, and it's looking to be just some terrible variance here. Absolutely terrible variance. As I said, probably about 1 out of 20 games do you not find Bazaar Baghdad. Looks like Jason is going to fall victim to 2 games in a row. Maybe, I mean, somewhere in the realm of like 1 in 400. Here we go, down to just 1 card. That is probably the main criticism of the deck, is it absolutely needs Bazaar. Of course, even if you can't draw it in your opening, there's still the possibility of your opponent having Wasteland or Pithing Needle, Sorcerer's Spyglass. Those are all very real problems. And leading out here, Tormod's Crypt and Grafdigger's Cage with Tolarian Academy, 5 mana, Paradoxical Outcome. Replaying all of these Moxes. There is a Lethal Storm if he happens to have a Tendrils. And sees just a lone Force of Will in Jason's hand. Even more salt in the wound. No blue card to accompany it. Preordain. Just absolute daggers there. It looks like a slower, more control-ish build of Dredge, not based off of the plays he's made, but just the inclusion of Force of Will in the sideboard. It may be the mental misstep Force of Will version. Lotus being cracked here. And Merchant Scroll. We'll see if he gets another PO. Not quite sure how much mana he has floating here. PO, the most likely choice. Ancestral occasionally would be correct there. If he only had 1 blue mana floating, it could be a play. But looks like he's got plenty here. Of course, that Tolarian Academy provided 4 blue off the get-go, and he did have those other Moxes. So each iteration's only using 1 of those blue mana. Looks like he's got everything but the Sapphire. And now Treasure Cruise. Mox Opal. Such a solid, important card in the deck. And Demonic Tutor. You may see another PO here, or he may have a combo assembled in his hand. Let's see here. Has he already found the Voltaic Key and Time Vault? Looks likely. And what looks to be the Bazaar Baghdad off the top. And there is the Time Vault. He taps to draw and discard his hopes of winning. Greg taking it down in 2. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.